All right. Give me one moment. All right, let it breathe for a little bit. All right, greatness is yours once you claim it. I am Keystone. I am a synthesizer of energy, frequencies, and information that generates increases of consciousness, self-awareness, and self-love for those who do not know who they are or the power they possess. This is Code Red. Enter into yourself, retrace your steps, and learn to fully absolve and let go of all the guilt, hurt, pain, drama, static, anything that's thriving inside of you, and allow yourself to transcend into a healthier state of being. Welcome to the introspection you've been expecting. All right, today's message is just going to talk on, about solving problems over being one. And any place in society, anybody that is able to solve problems usually fare better than the ones that are problems, because society usually looks at those that cause problems as problems. So, as I'm sure that you're aware, that you're not too fond of anything or anybody that causes problems or disrupt or interrupt the flow of anything that's going on. And so that's usually what a person that is considered a problem usually does. That is just a trait. That is something that's, I'm not going to say universal amongst other attributes, but that is something that is attributed to a person that is a problem. Now, as far as yourself, how beneficial can you become to yourself? How beneficial can you be to yourself? That is the question that you should be asking yourself as you view this, and even after you get off. Pretty much anybody, until they get to a point where they're comfortable within themselves, they know themselves, they love themselves, they know their worth, and they're not going to settle for anything less, it's easy to be a problem causer rather than a problem solver. And the problem causer, sometimes this is not intentional, but problem solving is intentional. So there goes the power spectrum again. Are you not in control of what all your faculties and what you're able to do, or do you take accountability and you take control and you produce what you know you can? So basically what we're going to, just going to touch on as far as the importance of knowing yourself and your self-worth. Not until you know your worth and your value can you provide that to someone else. That's just truth. Not until you know you can't be the best you for yourself or anybody else. And we go through life doing it backwards. We go through life attempting to fix everything for everybody else while we're still broken down. And so my main mission is to share my processes. And again, I'm sharing inside my journal processes and everything that got me to this point. And from this point, when I launched to where I'm going. So one thing that usually happens is that coming up through life, we don't know who we are. And I'm not speaking as far as a name that you're given or who your friends think you are. I'm speaking about as far as yourself. When you're asked, what do you want? Again, nobody truly knows what they want. When they're asked and put on the spot and asked specifically, what do you want? Not many people know themselves enough to know what they want. And then when you ask them what they want and why they want it, they definitely don't have a reason why. So the only way that can happen is the only way to prevent that is to start learning you. What do you like? What don't you like? What do you enjoy? What don't you enjoy? Where do you want to go? Where don't you want to go? So early off in my journey and my process, I learned that your mind is like a fertile field of soil. And whatever you plant inside that soil, as long as, it's being nurtured, water, sun, it's going to grow. And then it's going to grow uncontrollably because it's going to be nurtured and it's just going to spread. So I learned very early that you should never focus on what you do not want. You focus all your intentions on what you want. Do not focus on what you do not want. Only focus on what you want. Do not focus on what you do not like. Focus on what you like. Don't focus on what you do not desire. Focus on what you desire. So you can see how this goes. Anything that you feel is not serving you in the direction of your purpose, okay, it exists, but you don't have to acknowledge it. You starve it. And you know what happens when you starve something. When you starve drama, it depletes and leaves. You know what I'm saying? If you starve disease or anything, you don't feed the bad. You don't feed what is called negative. You starve it. You feed what you want. And that's how you truly shift your thinking, your energy, and the way that you carry yourself and how you conduct yourself. Once you focus on your intentions and what you desire, everything else is on the side. As I shared before, is just, to me, is like when, when I'm in a car, just that's all I hear. I hear you, but whether or not I acknowledge it or respond to it is totally up to me. And then to that degree of how I respond, if I choose to respond, I may not respond enough to that you want to, that you're satisfied. But if it's something that's not serving me, I'm cool without. I'm cool without it. I don't need it. You know what I'm saying? I can take this 5 to 20 to 30 minutes and go back and forth about something that doesn't matter to me at all, or I can address it in a few words and close that chapter and I'm finished. And put my thoughts and my energy back into my intentions and what's going to serve me and my purpose. So getting clarity about a purpose and your purpose, that requires you to go inside. There's no way that you can get inside of yourself by doing everything that's outside of you. So what happened in, my process, another event that happened is that actually it was an inconvenience at first. I'm not even going to lie about it. But after a couple of days, maybe a week or two, I realized it's exactly what I needed. Um, my cell phone had, I had probably within the past month or two before this happened, I got my screen repaired. So everything was good to go, and I didn't get a replacement case. So going to work, I was on the plantation, about to, trying to beat the clock. And I had my phone in my lap and, pulling my keys out, grabbing what I'm grabbing and open up the door, and my phone fell on the concrete, and the asphalt, and it splintered. So as I shared, not long before that happened, I just paid to get the screen fixed. So I said, I'm going to hold off and, I'll get it repaired. But right now I'm still able to use it to make phone calls. And so I had to use the pen instead of my finger because of, the crack to the screen. So I was still, in operation. So then, a couple of days, weeks later, I ended up falling asleep on my phone. And throughout the night, it was underneath me and I sweated. So what ended up happening is I sweated and it went through the cracks. And so when I powered the phone on or get the screen to come on, just a bright light, and then the screen went black. So it was a horrible situation for me. So rather than go get the screen fixed, the way the events of life was going on right then, the phone wasn't a priority at the time. There were other things that required my resources as far as currency. So let the phone go. So what ended up happening is that everything that I was able to do at that point in my life was affected by the phone. So whether it was good, bad, positive, negative, it was in that phone. So now I'm basically at ground zero. Outside of the numbers I had memorized or the people I saw on my day to day, I had no way to get in contact with anybody, or anybody that I wasn't able to contact wasn't able to contact myself. So within that going on and everything going through life, and still on the plantation and working and working on my craft, and still and learning as well, that allowed me to dedicate time to me. Because I know without a doubt, if I had that phone, I wouldn't have spent as much time with myself, by myself, for myself, and then and the bunches and amounts of time that I was able to do so. So, long story short, by me taking that time that I would have been running the street or running this or running there or even on the phone doing anything not productive for me, that allowed me to realize that, well, damn, by me putting anywhere from 4 to 7 hours back into myself, it felt wonderful. It's beneficial. So what ended up happening is that right now I can't see doing it any other way. You know, to sit right now, yes, the team that I like is on TV playing right now, but 5, 6, 7 years ago, this never would have been the case. I'll be right there in front of the TV wasting 3 to 4 hours on something that's not going to have any effect on my life tomorrow outside of hearing people talking shit or me talking shit. Outside of that, that's not beneficial. I can't cash that in. I can't go and offer my services of being able to describe what I watched as far as the game, and it's simply not beneficial. And then it didn't do anything for me. Excuse me, it's not doing anything for me. It's not assisting me in growing. It's not assisting me on just any positive aspect of life. So what ended up, so the result of that is that allowed me to see things on a greater scale because I was allowed to learn more about myself. And one thing that I was truly excited about is the biology and especially the brain. That's one thing that I'm sure none of us really know about, how the brain operates. And I shared in one of my other videos how when the gentleman express your thoughts, you know what I'm saying? We can have a conversation and 30 plus years of negative thoughts. And then we have a great conversation about what we're going to do, our intentions. And yeah, it's going to move it, adjust the scale a little bit. But at the end of those, 2, 3 hours later, and I'm by myself, my negative thoughts are going to weigh it back down. So when I learned that it's all in your neurons and how they fire, so you got your neurons are strong as hell, 30 plus years of negativity and negative self-talk, yeah, it's going to be hard to defeat. So with hearing that, it made sense, but I'll see what happens. So the more and the more I practiced it, the more and the more it was harder for me to begin thinking negative. And so it got to the point where if I'm going to speak negative, I have to make a conscious decision to down something that I do or somebody else is doing. And I started to learn about energy. All right. So then I hear, I've always heard the opposites attract. I only know that's true with a battery or when, the flow of electricity. But as far as how the universe works, like energy attracts like energy. That's a law. Because if not, or like frequencies attract like frequencies. If a frequency is too high for you, you can't handle it. Just think of sound. Somebody likes a radio at a certain volume, high, boom, 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 or the highs really hitting real, tingling the ears. Some people can't stand that. Some people like theirs at a moderate volume. So that's just a small example of the different frequencies. So in the context of the frequencies I'm speaking about is thought, ideas, execution, business, just creativity, conversation, just on a whole nother level than something on the lower vibration. So then within that, I heard the example of the comparison of being more like an eagle and soar or be in a coop with the rest of the chickens and cluck. That was interesting. So, thinking about it, eagles soar. Eagles fly by themselves. They select what they do. They pick and choose. Eagles have choices. Chickens don't. Chickens have to be in the coop and wait for somebody to come toss them some whatever they tossing them in. They may get some of what's being tossed out, or they're eating dirt or rocks, or somebody else, another chicken's poop, shit, whatever you want to call it. So with that being in mind, along with the vibrational frequencies and then the thoughts, And then being able to put energy into myself, I started to feel different, you know what I'm saying? So when information came to me, I was able to decipher it, process it, decipher it, and discern it. Like, okay, this fits along the line of what I'm feeling is what is more truthful than what's over here. Okay, I understand everybody else over here is doing this, but I have a understanding that this right here is not that. And then later it came to me, they said, if you want to be successful, do the exact opposite of what the government tells you or what they tell you on TV. Now, first hearing that, yeah, I was like, what? How can you say something like that? But being able to process and look at things a little differently, even that early in what I was doing, I was able to say, hold on, it does make a little sense, because if they're telling you to go do this and do that, and those that don't, they're still okay. So then I started to see the shift of the people that are totally under control and not in control. Again, those that are under control and not in control. So with all of that coming to me, it was like, okay, I want to be one that is in control of what I do, where I go, and how I do it. So the only way that you can put yourself in a position where you have options is to increase yourself, evolve and grow, expand. And evolving and growing doesn't mean just upward. You need to span outward, 360. When you go up, down, left, right, that's two-dimensional. We're in a three-dimensional world, so why shouldn't your progress or evolution be in a 360 realm? All directions, not up, left, right, down, northeast, southeast, northwest, southwest, and allow yourself to fully integrate into this new information. So as things were going, so I started to feel differently about myself. So it was an inner power, and it is an inner power. At the time, it was a little spark. And so what ends up happening is that when one wants to break from the group or the coop, the rest of the chickens are going to cluck and they're going to fight to keep you in. Again, once you want to break from the coop or the coop and the group is going to fight to keep you in. It's going to be up to you to determine if you're going to soar beyond that, or you're going to go back and just worry about them talking shit about you and just subdue yourself and just to be part of the crowd. So when the example of the eagle was really, really something that I really focused my mind on, shit, I'm ready to soar. I know at certain parts of my life, I knew I was an eagle. But for whatever reason, I went down to the coop and I played with the chickens, and which, not downing anybody, but that's just the way that you have to separate it. The chicken is the one that's waiting for something to happen for them. The eagles do it for themselves. So the chicken can be looked at as a problem, as to where the eagle is a problem solver. So when the chicken is hungry, the chicken can't do anything on its own. It has to wait. And it has to wait for that farmer. I'm just going to say that, wait for that farmer to come, toss the seeds out. And then, the farmer has to come change the hay or whatever, the bedding, and do everything for the chicken. So that chicken is a dependent on that farmer. So that farmer's going to get his money back, because that farmer's going to slaughter that chicken. He's either going to eat it himself, or the chicken's going to be up the market, or that chicken is going to be a breeder. The eagle has that problem none. The eagle says it's hungry or knows it's hungry. What does it feel like eating? Does it feel like grabbing a dog out the yard? Does it feel like grabbing a fish, a rodent, another bird? It's up to the eagle. You know what I'm saying? If the eagle wants a certain thing to eat, the eagle knows where to go. The eagle grabs it, takes it back to the nest, devour it, feed the children, or whatever it does with it, it's good to go. Okay, the nest is too little. The eagle's going to build himself another nest in a better location and leave that nest for the next one coming up. So, and then also the eagle is not afraid to be by itself. So in life, that is another thing. Our attachment to being in the crowd, feeling value through the eyes of how somebody else value us. So then also within early learning that you can't make everybody happy. And if you attempt to make everybody happy, you're going to be the one that's the unhappiest. Again, if you attempt and live your life to make everybody happy, you're going to be the one that's the unhappiest. Again, you could go out, you can help all kind of people cross the street, help people move, paint, cut grass, anything that you want to do, and you're going to come back home and you're still going to be that broken individual that you were when you left out the door. You're going to feel good. You're going to feel that high again for that temporary moment, but until you repair you, you're never going to fully comprehend or understand what true happiness and power is about. So within the journey of, now with this found energy and confidence and just ready to get it, I'm on the plantation. So within the plantation, again, the environment wasn't the most positive, but I chose how I navigated through the waters. So the thing about an eagle, again, the eagle has choices. Chickens don't. Chickens are given what they're given, and that's that. If a chicken wants to fly out the coop, good luck. The chicken gonna fly, but so high, and it's gonna go down. It's almost like it's hovering. The eagle, on the other hand, the eagle has an option, many options, but in this particular manner, I was the eagle coming down to the coop. I'm going to hang with the chickens for a little while. At 1 o'clock, pew, I'm out. So that's the mindset I kept. Regardless of what the chickens were doing, I had power to choose whether or not and how I responded. If I wanted a chicken fight, I'd chicken fight. But it wasn't like that for me. I was on another mission. I was on my mission. And my mission is progression and ascension. That is what my purpose was all about at that time. So within me interacting with the chickens, I didn't let the chickens interfere with me. So I was able to share some good information with other guys that work there. And so, what I'm saying, you like energy attracts like energy. So within a coop of chickens, there are going to be some other eagles that are existing because that's where they're at that point in their life. So needless to say, it wasn't all chickens, but, definitely teamed up with a few eagles. So through that experience, I learned that I truly have control over me. I don't have to buy into this or that because simply for the fact that somebody else is doing this or that. It was truly up to me. And if I chose to do this or that, it was up to me. So if they did not understand me because I didn't speak as they do or go hang out and rush the bar, excuse me, and rush the bar and just do other things that they were doing when they got off, that was fine with me. Again, I shared when I got off, I went home, got in front of the computer, got with the vinyl, and did vinyl until I fell asleep in the chair, laid down in bed for about an hour or two, got back up, got at it again. It was time until it was time to go to the plantation. So that to me was me proving to myself that I was I was putting in effort to solve my problems. And at that time, my problems was a lack of self-love, self-worth, and self-value. Again, at that time, my problem was a lack of self-worth, self-value, and self-love. Basically, it was at zero. So with building myself up and, changing and adjusting the way I thought and talked about myself, it led to results. Wasn't measurable by other people's standards, but as far as myself, they were tremendous. And once you start to see a little progress, the momentum picks up. Okay, just like somebody attempting to get themselves into shape, in better shape, healthy shape, a better state of health, I shall say. yeah, the person's going to be doing the push-ups and sit-ups and so many things, and every time they jump in front of the mirror, they don't see any progress on the outer. But the thing that you have to understand is that everything happens inside first before it happens outside. Not taking into account that you probably was not active physically for 10, 15, 20 years. And if I remember when I was really into fitness, I believe for every year, I think it was like for every year of inactivity, it's about a month or two of work that you had to put in to make up for that. It's somewhere the ratio, I haven't checked this recently, but somewhere along the lines of that. So somebody that hasn't, and especially for somebody that's never been active, you know what I'm saying, to do, 3 days of push-ups and sit-ups and expect to come out swole, that's not really accurate. You know what I'm saying? That's not realistic. I mean, it's nice to feel that way, but that's not how it's going to happen. So patience, persistence, that's what I had to endure. You know what I'm saying? So again, as I saw and felt the changes that were going on within myself, it was exciting. And exciting so that I had to start sharing a little bit. And at that point, what I'm saying, yeah, I had to pick and choose, who can I say something to, who can I not say something to, because I fully wasn't versed at any much of what I was learning. I just knew enough to speak on it, but I was excited. I wanted to share it. And, I did share some. And again, when your frequency is different, you don't have to X everybody out of your life. Some people will X themselves out of your life. That is something that an eagle must understand. That is just a part of growth. You know what I'm saying? Just like with anything, if playing baseball, if I'm a pitcher in the major leagues, excuse me, if I'm throwing a 90-mile-per-hour fastball, I'm not going to be doing slow pitch softball. I'm gonna be doing something else with what I'm able to do. So if we still, what I'm saying, it's just time for me to grow. Nothing against those that are playing softball, slow pitch softball, but if I'm able to throw that ball 100 miles per hour overhand, yeah, I'm about to do another sport. We can't play the same sport. We're not saying that we can't conversate or anything, but when it comes to life, once you start thinking differently and you breathe differently, you walk differently, you talk differently, and you just desire different things and more things than what you settled for those that don't comprehend that, it's foreign to them. Again, you have a choice. Do you diminish yourself and put yourself down to match them, or do you keep yourself on your mission and reach back to assist? If they don't grab your hand, and take your hand and grab the next level up and pull yourself up. Do not make yourself stagnant for others. That's the thing that I also had an issue with when I was, younger. Whenever I had an idea, I wanted all of us are going to do this. Let's go. Here we go. But when it was time for action, everybody was waiting for the action to happen before they jumped on. So fast forward to now, just to do what I'm doing right now, so many things that I'm having to do by myself, but I love it because as this progresses to what I already intended and what I stated to the universe, nobody can take credit but me, which isn't why I'm doing it. But as again, I share with myself, as I shared earlier, I'm the type that if you're around me, I'm going to reach for you. And if you slap my hand, hey, no issues. Cool. You know what I'm saying? This is my dream. So I'm going to fulfill my dream. I don't know if you have your dream, but I'm one that firmly believes and comprehends that the universe will give you more of what you ask for when you help people get more of what they want and less of what they do not want. So for years, I've been working myself toward this. And again, I feel that I'm 2 years behind the ball, but what I know about the universe, everything happens in perfect timing. So this is where I'm at. So within me progressing to get to this point, I'm speaking just as those that spoke when I was seeking information. I didn't know what I was looking for. Again, I came into my self-awareness by seeking the truth about religion. Somebody else may come into it by seeking what's going on with the law, what's going on with the government. You know, some may come from the conspiracy angle, or somebody just may desire information and take off from there. So no matter how you bring yourself to the truth and the information, once you're in it, you're in it. So again, started off looking, what's the truth about Jesus and God? So then I ended up finding out about my brain, my biology. Then started finding out, before that, definitely I jumped on the conspiracy stuff. So I wanted to find out who was running the show. So many things were going on, so many things were happening at that time and what happened before in my life that I wanted to know again. So I came in, I found out where the money was, who had the money, and then just worked my way down that pyramid. And then got to the bottom of the pyramid and was just like, wow, more and more information was just coming to me. And I clicked on the video, and once I clicked on that video, that was in my algorithm feed, it was on. And that's when I, again, learned about myself, learned about my brain, learned about the inner workings of the universe, the stars, the elements, and just compiling to where I've been the past year and a half to 2 years as far as the information that I'm acquiring now. So to me, when I proclaimed to the universe I wanted to know the truth, the universe gave it to me, and it's continuously given to me. And from on the spiritual aspect, I understand that in order to get more, you have to give more. So I'm releasing what I have to get more of what I don't have. So the chain reactions are going to be, I'm going to release what I have to those that are watching, and it's going to spark a person. All I want to reach is just one person. It doesn't matter who or where you're from. But if I'm able to share some words with you to get you to change your life or to affect somebody else's life in a positive way, that's a chain reaction. It takes one. And, naturally, you want more than one. But honestly, this is me sharing my journal. This is my therapy. And by me being able to share my journal, I'm sure somebody's going to be reading it. People are nosy like that. But yeah, just on to get back on track, this is what it's about. It's about solving problems. So now to get on to awareness. To solve problems, you have to be aware. Number one, what the problem is, how did the problem come about, and what can be done to resolve the problem or divert it or minimize it or just be able to just, come to a resolution or at least on the path toward resolution. So after I left that, again, that other plantation into another one, when by my experience of the, where I left the plantation I left before the one that I went to, again, I found myself and was like, okay, I'm sold that I control everything. And if I want to buy into something, that's my option. If I don't, I don't. So I went into this new place and my mindset was, okay, so I'm going to take what I did there and I'm going to do it times a million. So what ended up happening is that by me avoiding the drama and not buying in and putting myself in that vibrational frequency of chickens, I rose. And unfortunately, the morale around the place wasn't very high, that I was able to float with being just an average myself. So opportunities came and I became reliable. I took accountability for things that was definitely above my pay grade. But because I'm able to solve problems, that's what I was doing. So rather than working, I was solving problems. Again, instead of working, I was solving problems. When you solve problems, you don't have to work. Again, in my younger years, I was the type, Hey, potential to be manager, supervisor, so on and so forth, but I had a shitty attitude. You know what I'm saying? I didn't comprehend what it took. You know what I'm saying? I complained about things. I was a complainer. Oh, this ain't fair. This ain't right. Oh, they get to do this. We can't do that. So rather than saying, hey, Keystone, fix yourself, look at yourself. And once you get you together, everything around you will fall in place. That didn't happen until later on in life. So this was that opportunity. So within me being within myself and producing from within, it was lovely. I got to choose when I did something, more or less. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't have to do what everybody and everything else was being done. It was projects. Pick out something. Here's my suggestion. Okay, run with it. Or, hey, what you think about this? So that was a different thing. So earlier in my life, that was something I complained about. Oh, man, look at him, man. He think he's the stuff. He ain't doing nothing, so on and so forth. So rather than me finding out what he was doing or how he or she was able to do that, I'm just talking shit. So when this was happening to me, it was funny because I could see myself within them. And then also, that's another thing. When somebody is spiteful, dirty, or hurtful towards you, it's not you that's the problem, it's them. All they're doing is projecting their fears, insecurities upon you. That's it. So by having that mindset, I'm able to, just hear it. Like I said, wind passing. Okay, sounds good. But as long as you don't put your hands on me, we're good. So again, for yourself, anybody that's projecting negativity upon you, whether it's hate, jealousy, rage, the problem is not you, it's them. Again, everybody's life is a reflection of what's going on inside of them. So by having that mindset and keeping that within my soul, I'm able to do things that I wasn't able to do when I was younger for the fact that I was drawn into bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It was like a magnet. Oh, yeah? So put that out. I stopped. And not saying I'm perfect, but I'm far better along than where I started. Far better along. And again, it's work. It's work. It's work. And I will share that as you progress in life, whenever you get to that point where you stop, do not stop. If you're not going forward, go horizontal. Don't stop. Because once you stop that momentum, you're going to slide back. And it's going to take that much more and more and more just to get to that point. And by it taking that much more energy to get to that point where you stop, that's going to test your resolve. Is it something that you want? Your persistency. Do you want this? Or do you think you want it? Nah, you don't want that, man. Just go back and, get back on the couch and watch TV, man. The game's on or the TV's on. We could binge watch this or play video games. So that's the other thing. I cut out video games. Again, as I shared, when I lost my phone and it was just me, I was able to put anywhere from 3 to 5, 6, 7 hours into myself. And then to think that probably 10 plus years before that, I was putting that much time into video games, music, and bullshit. Almost a damn shit. Almost a 6 to 8 hour, more than a part-time job. I was dedicating toward bullshit. And then whenever else I was available, I was putting in overtime. Definitely not benefiting myself. So again, that all helped me come to the realization that I need to put more into me. So within me putting more into me, I learned to be a problem solver instead of being a problem. I learned that in order for me to solve problems, I need to learn me. And once I learned me and learned that everything is from the one, and once you understand yourself and you see yourself in nature and how nature operates, That allows you to have discernment on what's right and what's wrong. So if somebody throws some stuff at you and it doesn't fit with what you know is natural, it's easy to reject that. It extremely is. That doesn't even sound right. That doesn't even sound logical. So I don't even have to take 3-4 hours or days to marinate on something. No, as soon as I hear it, no, I can toss that out because it's not natural. It doesn't fit. Just that easily. I don't need to hear a professional. I don't need um, the official report. I don't need somebody on a TV screen dictating to me what I should be looking at and listening for and doing. I know myself. I know me. I'm very aware of myself. So I don't need you to tell me. I get definitely taking account of your recommendation again. But once I take your recommendation and I line it up to what's natural law, now that doesn't make sense. I pass. So now you feel that you're going to force somebody to do something that's not natural. So those of you who don't know natural law, learn natural law. I mean, your nature. You came from the earth, the elements. You're made of water. You're made of soil, from the wind and fire. The water, self-evident. The wind, that's your breath. The soil, your skin, your flesh, your being, and fire. You're able to generate fire from within. That's heat. You're the four elements. Why would something that is not the four elements be used to cure or repair something that's of the four elements? It's up to you. So, with being able to solve problems, the key is to solve your problems first. Once you recognize and acknowledge your problems, then you can assist others with helping solve their problems. Then, by you being able to solve your problems, and then by you solving your problems, you're able to assist others with finding a resolution to their problems. You cease to be a problem. Again, you cease to be a problem. And don't say you'll be a problem when you're at somewhere else. Remember, you're not the problem. They are. They don't have the same ability or vision or insight that you have. That's not your fault. Everybody gets the same 24 hours. What you do with your 24 hours is definitely different than what I do with mine. And what I do with my 24 hours is definitely different than the other person. But again, we all get 24 hours a day. What are you doing with yours? Are you using your 24 hours or actually, excuse me, how much of your 24 hours are you using to put back into yourself? How much of your 24 hours are you investing in yourself? How many of your 24 hours are you assisting others in attaining or accomplishing something in their life? So basically, in short, how much of your 24 hours are you assisting or helping or benefiting or improving? Whatever it is. I mean, is your thing, planting food, putting your fingers and your hands in the soil? Are you somebody that works on breathing exercises, yoga, qigong, tai chi? You know what I'm saying? Or are you one that, CrossFit? Are you, somebody that helps people get in shape or in better shape or eat healthier? Are you somebody that creates? Are you somebody that draws or writes? Are you able to bring life or light to somebody else? That's the way that you become a problem solver. You solve the problem by helping people get back to themselves. And I will share this as well. I have no problem sharing this, is that I share with people that, however, whatever you come to when you're looking to discover yourself or the truth or, however you want to verbalize it, anybody or anything that it says they're there to help you be a better you or a complete you, and their mode of assisting you is anything outside of you. Again, if their mode of assisting you is getting you to depend on something outside of you, you should immediately about face, thank them for their time, and get out of there. There's nothing outside of you that's more important than anything that's inside of you. Again, there is nothing outside of you that is more important than anything that's inside of you. Once you take care of inside, the outside will adjust to you. Just as anybody just flown on an airplane, the stewardess gives, her or their dialogue as far as, what to do for the safety and everything. And so when it gets to the point about the oxygen mask, they always tell you, put your mask on first. Put your mask on first before you help somebody else. Put your mask on first before you help somebody else. Same thing in life. You know what I'm saying? You definitely can assist others, but at the end of the day, what happens to you? You know what I'm saying? You could go around and help 20 people put on their mask, and right before the casualty or the conflict or the crash or whatever's going on happens, 2 more seconds, you would have had your mask on. So all 20 people going to look at you and they're going to thank you. And yeah, granted, you felt, you did a good deed, but all 20 that are still looking at you greatly appreciate you. Now you didn't take care of yourself. And some may say, oh, that's selfish, but it's a thing between selfish and selfless. Balance. You got a balance between selfish and selflessness. Life calls for that. If you're going to be number one in your life, don't you think you have to be selfish at times? If you're going to be number one in your life, don't you feel you have to be selfish at times? And by you being able to make a decision to be selfish to benefit yourself, that allows you to also make the decision to be selfless, because you are aware of yourself and what you're capable of doing, that you can allow yourself to assist and be of a benefit to others. So just to sum it up, learn natural law. Like I said, start with the 7. Learn natural law and weigh everything that you come across against that natural law, and you'll start to see how clearly we're led in the wrong direction, and by design. Also, investigate all of your information if it's possible, whenever possible. And I'm not speaking again by the links or to the mainstream TV, because over 90+% of all media is owned by 6 conglomerates. Over 90% of all media is owned by 6 conglomerate companies that own everything from entertainment to the news. 6 companies, 90% of the media that goes on in this country or corporation is owned by 6 entities. So I believe back in the 70s, it was maybe upwards of 100+ different media type companies that were involved, but it done got streamlined to 6 companies. So that means that I'm pretty sure that the 6 companies are not competing. I'm more than positive that the same strings that are controlling what's going on around us are controlling those media companies. And it's all to keep you enslaved. Remember, everybody thinks we're free. We have the illusion of freedom. We don't have freedom. So you could call it the color of freedom. It resembles, it smells like freedom. It may even have a little taste of freedom, but it's not. It's an illusion. So this big country that we're in, again, they're streamlining everything. So they're bringing the cattle. They're streamlining them for slaughter. The media does that. In order to control crowds, the easiest way to do it is mass media. Again, mass media. I can go back to when they took the TV signals from analog to digital. And I know I was the only one at that time saying that was a bad thing because I was the only one talking it. And, didn't fully comprehend what I was speaking on to the degree that I'm aware of now. But I knew that, no, that's not right. And it didn't, what the hell the government, why, all right, number one, why would the government do something to benefit you first? When has that ever happened? If the government does something that you feel is beneficial to you, please know it's not that. It can't be that. It's not going to be that. Again, this is a corporation that is that is the color of a country, that is legislated and ran as a country. But the United States is a corporation, and the corporation, what's the job number one of a corporation? Get paid, make money, maximize profits, regardless of who or what ethics are violated. That's what it is. And to not accept it, cool. Hey, that's fine. That's on you. But I know what I know because I put in the time to find out. Whether or not you do, that is your decision. But again, options and choices. That is a power. Choices, power. When you have to do something, there's no power in having to do something. The power in choosing to do something is totally different than having to do something. And that can't be disputed. If it is, I'm curious to hear what you type down below. But besides that, the other thing as well, you got to be honest with yourself. You got to be able to look in the mirror. And again, as I shared at the beginning, you have to learn to absolve and let go. And by learning to absolve and let go of things, you have to go in the mirror. You have to stand in front of the mirror, look yourself in the eye, and love yourself regardless of the decisions or choices or things that happen to you or the things that you have done, and grow. That's it. If you don't grow and expand yourself beyond where you are, that's when you fall into that problem category. And again, there's a whole system developed and very, very, very profitable for this corporation for those that are trouble or a problem. So solve your problems. Once you solve your problems, then the problems around the others will be affected by you. Chain reaction is energies, vibration, or frequencies. Again, also, for those who leave you, when you start on your path of self-improvement and growth and they can't handle that, it's fine. Maybe, no need to argue, no need to fight, allow it to be, because you have to put your energy and time into yourself. So more or less look at it as them doing you a favor. So that couple of hours or moments that you may be doing whatever that's not beneficial for you, that you chose not to do, you don't even have to be conflicted or whether or not, oh man, come on, man, let's go, man. You ain't got to deal with that no more. You can say your decision and then do it, execute. I've shared with, when you speak, declare what you want or what you do not want. State that and leave it at that. Don't have to make an excuse. Oh, I can, or maybe just no, I'm not going to do that right now, and leave it at that. And you're going to find that there's power in being able to declare what you want without feeling bad about it. Why should you feel bad about stating what you want? Why should you feel guilty about stating what you want? You shouldn't. And that, again, on the scale, that's a weakness. That's the weaker end. So when you speak and you say what you mean and mean what you say, that's what it is. There's no argument. There's nothing else to say. That's it. So, universal laws. Love yourself. Love yourself. Love yourself. Learn your self-worth. Learn your self-value. Learn about your body. Learn how your brain operates. Learn how your brain is connected to your heart and what happens when you can connect your heart and your brain together. Learn what happens when you physically do something to yourself. Increase your oxygen, stretch your lungs out, put oxygen into your lungs, scrub your blood, scrub your lungs with oxygen. That's what it's there for. The oxygen is there to take away the waste. So if you never experienced when I heard this was extremely interesting to me. It was, I don't recall who said it, but the gentleman or what I was listening to, paraphrase, most men go through life not knowing what it's like to have their body running optimal at peak performance. A lot of men die in life without having the opportunity to experience their body operating at peak performance. That was interesting. So anybody that's been an athlete on whatever level, they got to experience their body at whatever peak for whatever their level or their abilities at that time. Now imagine those that feel that they're out of shape, saying, especially we get older, we hit the 40s and definitely don't look like when we were in our teens and our 20s. But there are people that went through life that's never had that opportunity. So basically what they were saying is that self-improvement, your body is a machine. We're built to be eternal forever. I'll go on that a little later, but that's truly what we are. And if you've ever been through anything with your body and you see how your body recovers, there's no way that you can dispute that. You have to accept that. Whether or not you do, that's on you. If you feel that something outside of you is better than what's inside of you, that is on you. But as far as myself, a God who is from God, I had no problem saying that I am a God. I'm a generator, organizer, and I decide. If you can't do any of them, you can't consider yourself a God. So if you don't rule you, you will be ruled upon. Again, if you don't rule you, you will be ruled upon. And that's not a way of life for me, myself anymore. That's the way I lived my life in the past. But now from that point going forward, it's about empowerment. Empower me. Any and everything I do is going to benefit what's inside of me so that I can shine my light and attract those that are seeking. So, universal laws, love yourself, learn yourself, self-worth, discover what you like, discover what you don't like. And remember, do not focus your thoughts or your conversation on what you do not like. If you focus your conversation on what you don't like and what you don't want and everything that's considered negative, that's all the universe is going to give you. Remember, your consciousness is a field of soil, and everything that you plant is going to grow. It's going to grow. So if you're a person that don't control what goes inside of you, that's on you. If everything that you take in is drama and bullshit, fighting, and everything that's not beneficial to you, that's what's going to grow in your subconscious. And then again, what's outside of you is a reflection of what's inside of you. So regulate what you take in so you can reap the benefits of what you put out. So again, we go learn about income, taking in, we're receiving. But what about the output? Income, output. Income, output. It's a balance. So again, they put us on the weaker end of everything. Cause and effect. Because this happened, this is the effect. We're always on the effect side of the spectrum. Not anymore. When I hear the cause, I choose not to react because I'm not fitting within their storyline or the narrative that they're putting out there, because I saw differently when I first heard it. You know what I'm saying? Again, I take what they give me, I weigh it against what I know is to be natural and fits within the way that the grand scheme of the way this was designed. And if it doesn't fit, I let it go. I'm able to process information without taking it personal again. That's another one. Do not be attached to information. There's always going to be higher knowledge. If you feel right now that you're at the height or the pinnacle of the knowledge that you've amassed so much, you're kidding yourself, because the more that you learn reveals to you the more that you do not know. Again, the more that you learn reveals to you the more that you do not know. Just wanted to touch on that. It says solve problems instead of being one. Solve problems by learning yourself, be yourself, love yourself. Everything else to take care of yourself. Again, I'm Keystone. I am a synthesizer of energy, frequencies, and information that generates increases of consciousness, self-awareness, and self-love for those who do not know who they are or the power they possess. This is Code Red. Thank you for stopping at the introspection. You've been expecting yourself. Thank you for sharing your time, and have a great day.